What is going on? You know, this is AlToneRC, and welcome to another absolutely fantastic video. And today I will be sharing with you this very small, compact 42 LED mini LED video light that I was sent so that I could give my honest review on. It's very small, very compact. The color temperature on this particular light, it happens to be 6000 K, which is pretty much daylight, or very close to it. And the lumens is 800 lumens, and the angle is 120%, and the light distance is 5 meters. And that is just a little bit of information. It's actually right here on the box. I'm reading it off the box for you, and I think it's pretty cool. As you can see, I have a few of my lights around. This one is my Nangang. This is my RGB light that I've used in quite a few different videos. I use it regularly. I also have my newer 176s here that I've been using for quite some time. And then the Lume Cube that I have, 2 of these I've been using for quite some time. And of course my Viltrox lights. So as you can see, I have been purchasing, or have purchased, quite a few different lights to try to really get the best quality lighting I possibly can for the videos, so that you know, to really increase that production value. In a lot of cases, when you're out and you're attempting to do video like just yourself and trying to get video in different areas, what you'll find is that you'll need a little bit additional light. Even if you're outside, sometimes you'll need just a little bit of additional light. And something like this, like the Lume Cube or something like this, will really help you out. These are pretty inexpensive, very small, and of course, like I said, sent to me so I could give my honest review on it. So let's go ahead, and not a whole lot to it. Just wanted to open the box here, and I did charge this so that you could actually get an opportunity to see how much light is in the how much light it kind of puts out. It's going to be interesting based on looking at it versus the other lights that I have here. But essentially, it took me 2 hours, around 3 hours, to charge it straight out of the box. So I timed that charging. And of course, this is the light. So the one thing that I think is kind of cool about it is, one, it's got a cold shoe mount on the bottom. Then it's got a couple of additional sections on the side, so you can get more than one of these lights and you can connect them all together. They cannot be controlled by your camera itself. If you have a DSLR like my 70D I have here, it will not be controlled by the camera. It's just going to give you a solid stream of light, and you can't control the brightness or anything like that. It is just a light to use in a given situation. There is some diffusion on the front of this, which is pretty cool, because if you have something like the Lume Cube that I have here, it's pretty small. You can buy a diffusion cap for it, but it's a very small light, and so it ends up being somewhat directional, really directional, and possibly even a little harsh in some areas. A light like this, a little bit larger area, like some of these, and I have these turned down to the absolute lowest brightness I could get them on, so it wouldn't overwhelm you with light in this video. But having that diffusion, both of these have diffusion on them, including the 176 here. They all have diffusion on them, and essentially that keeps that light from being too harsh. And of course, for anybody who's used camera lighting in the past, you already know this, but for those of you who might be just trying to get into this kind of thing and really not too sure what some of these things are, that's what it is. So usually in all of my videos and all of my lighting, everything, since my LEDs in my home are set at are actually 4000 K, or which is the color temperature, either warm or cold. Is kind of more on the warm side, or closer to the daylight side. 6000 K is closer to the pure daylight side, that light that you would see from the sun on a bright sunny day. And then the cooler is more like a cloudy day, days that you have a little overcast and that kind of stuff, but yet the sun is still shining. You get that bluish tone. So that's what it is. Either you're getting that gold crisp tone that you get from the sun itself, or you're getting that more goldish more bluish tone, which is that cold. It feels cold as you watch it, as you look at it. But essentially, like I said, this one is 6000K. So it's going to be a little bit warmer than any of my other lights I currently have set. It only has 2 settings. That's the high setting, and this is the low. And then just lighting myself so that you get an opportunity to see what that kind of looks like. So if you are a vlogger and you're holding your camera at arm's length, essentially this is the kind of light that you're going to get, and it's pretty bright. It's surprisingly bright, but again, you cannot adjust the brightness. The only way you would be able to adjust the brightness on this would be to put an additional layer of diffusion over top of it, which could be as simple as, you know, getting a piece of a pillowcase and covering up the lens in order to get that diffusion. That's the highest, the lowest setting, and the highest setting, of course, is here. So this, you can see, being used as a quick, you know, light just for you to use, or an accent light. Accent lighting might be a little bit pretty good because it's small enough that you can fit it in some small places. But if you're using this at arm's length on top of your camera, this would possibly give you, or be very good as far as a light that you would actually need. You don't want to look directly in this light either. And I've got it on high right now, back on low. It's still too bright for you to actually look directly into the light. It really is. But I can see this giving you, in a pinch, when you need something quick, especially for the price, giving you the light that you need in order to be able to shoot some pretty good video. And usually the quality of your video is often determined by the amount of light that you have lighting your subject, and that light then being reflected into your camera so that it can capture the colors and all that kind of stuff very well. The reason why you may have noise in your video often is because your subject's not lit well enough. And so what that ends up meaning, and that noise can be like a fuzzy look. And what that and usually the best way to get rid of that, and it's also possibly that your camera settings are not correct, but the best way to get rid of that is to light your subject just a little bit better. And that's the reason why nighttime videos and nighttime photos tend to be a little bit grainy, or they seem to have what we call noise in that photo or in that video, based on the fact that your background or whatever it is not lit well enough. In some cases, your camera can't handle, depending on the camera that you're using, it may not be able to handle those low lighting settings or low lighting situations very well. So the only other thing that this light comes with is a charging cable, USB Type-C cable, and that is essentially what it comes with. And like I said, it takes about 3 hours to charge. There's not a whole lot to this light. It really isn't. You charge it up, you use it, you turn it off. And it's very solid, sturdy enough that you should be able to just take this thing and toss it into your bag. I would, and I always suggest this, any equipment that you have, electronic equipment, if you have the means, if it's nothing more than, if you know how to sew, take a piece of material. And I do this for all of my lights to keep them from being dusty and stuff like that. I cover my lights up, sew a nice little case, and put my lights in the case, or cover my lights up when they're not being used. It's just a form of protection. That way you always, whenever you're spending money on absolutely anything, especially electronics, one, you usually want to make sure that you get value, and two, you always want to take very good care of any equipment that you're purchasing. I keep my cameras covered normally. I keep all my lighting covered, all of my equipment, everything, my microphones, dust covered. If they're left out, they're always dust covered, and I always put my cameras, my lenses, and all of my equipment away so that they last me longer. The longer your things last you, the longer your lighting lasts you, the longer everything lasts, the better off you are. And the more money you're going to save, because you're not going to continue to have to purchase new equipment. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that helped you out in some way if you are considering looking at this light. There's a little manual in here. It seems to be in Japanese, but there's no need. There's only one switch on there, and that's is off, low, and high, and your charging port, and that's it. And your light. There's nothing else to it really. So there's no need. You do not need to use the manual for this thing. Just turn it on, turn it off, charge it when you need to, and that is it. So I hope this helped you out in some way. If it did, make sure that you click like, subscribe, do all of that crazy stuff. Let me know what your thoughts are, or if you have any questions about this particular light or any other lights that I have. And I look so forward to talking to you again in the next video.